Now it is time for our martial law segment. This radio program is intended to be for informational purposes only. This information does not constitute legal advice. The law is constantly changing, and the information may not be complete or correct depending on the date and your particular legal problem. Each legal problem depends on its individual facts, and different jurisdictions have different laws and regulations. Because of these differences, you should not act or rely on any information in this segment without seeking the advice of a competent attorney licensed to practice law in your jurisdiction for your particular problem. With the disclaimer out of the way, we welcome back in for the final time this year Marshall Chriswell, joining us on the phone here on Indiana in the Morning. Marshall, how you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning, Josh. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Was your holiday over the weekend a good one?
It was great. It was great. Thank you.
Excellent. Good to hear. So, Marshall, you and I were talking a little bit off air, and you said that child custody is going to be the topic of choice today, especially around the holidays, because I would imagine that it does get difficult to try to schedule things in and around not just availability of the people involved, but also the legalities of when a child can spend time with whichever parent that they need to spend time with.
That's right. Yeah. In thinking about the show this morning, I mean, I often try to talk about issues that are happening, in my practice, currently, and every year around the holidays, as any lawyer who practices family law will tell you, child custody cases, issues in those cases crop up, through Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. And it's a very, very difficult thing for separated parents, understandably, to navigate the holiday situation and how we're going to share custody, where the child or children is going to spend which days, and just communicating over those issues can become very difficult and can lead to some pretty serious disputes.
So the best thing to do is to probably, whenever you're thinking of putting together a schedule for this, is to bring in an attorney like yourself to try to mediate this matter.
Well, that's one way to do it, and that's what a lot of folks do. Is they will try to work things out with the other parent. But in the event that immediately doesn't work, then they're going to go to their lawyers and say, hey, all right, we need to get the lawyers involved and figure this out. And that certainly can be an effective way to do it. But, that it doesn't always have to be that way. I don't mind the business, but I would prefer that people, are able to, in the best interest of their children, to work things out between themselves. So, in thinking about this, it's, what are the things you can do to maybe avoid the disputes? And first of all, you should start early, right? You don't wait until the week of or the week before the Christmas break from school to say, oh, wow, we need to talk about where the kids are going to spend Christmas or spend part of Christmas break. It should be dealt with early. And the first thing you want to do is take a look at your court order. A lot of folks will start thinking about these issues and kind of forget, oh, we have a court order. And in most custody cases there are, right? You have an order that says, all right, this is what we've agreed to, or this is what the judge decided is going to be our holiday schedule. So take a look at that. Make sure that you really understand it. These orders are written by lawyers and judges. Sometimes a lay person is going to read it and have a different interpretation. So take a look at it. Make sure you understand it. Talk to your lawyer if there are things in it that you don't understand. And really understand how the custody is divided over those holidays.
Mm-hmm.
There are multiple ways, common ways to divide custody over the holidays. One common way is for the parties to alternate holidays. One parent gets Thanksgiving, the other parent gets Easter. One parent gets Christmas, the other parent gets New Year's. We alternate these holidays throughout the year. Or another common way is that the holidays are divided. Spend half of Thanksgiving with mom, half of Thanksgiving with dad, and so on through the holidays that way. So there are multiple ways that this can be done, but you really need to look at that order and understand it, and then go and talk to the other parent about it.
Right. So with the orders, with the knowledge of the order in mind, and again, different orders are different for people, varying from case to case. So
Sure.
really talking with with both sides in this case is really important. Trying to get it hammered out on your own, and I guess a good thing would be to probably put this down on paper somewhere to make it like a physical schedule in that regard. That way, not only do the parents not forget, but they have something they can refer back to in case there is a problem.
You're absolutely right. So if there's a court order in place, you're going to have that order. But it's a really good idea to confirm that both parents that both of you, the co-parents understand the order. And the way to do that, as you've hit the nail on the head there, Josh, is to and it's so great with technology now, right? We can do an online calendar. You can do a Google Calendar, or there are actually co-parenting applications that parents are using these days for all manner of communication. And those applications have, email function, and you can upload photos and medical information and doctor's appointments, documents, and things like that. But also they all have an online calendar. So you can go in, you can plug in the exact custody schedule over the holidays. Both parents see it. Both parents get on the same page. If you do this early enough, any disputes or disagreements over interpretation of how the order reads or things like that can be dealt with early. You communicate. You have all those communications in writing, which I always tell my custody clients that having your communications with the other parent in writing, those confirmations in an email, a text message, or done through an attorney, through the attorneys sending letters or faxes or emails back and forth, having those things in writing is very helpful later on whenever we're trying to go back and look at a timeline or see, okay, what exactly is the dispute here, and what are the positions each side are taking. So it's extremely important to put your communications in writing and for everybody to be on the same page.
We're talking with Marshall Chriswell here on Indiana in the Morning, and we're talking about child custody over the holiday season. Now, Marshall, you mentioned that people will, in some cases, they'll alternate holidays, like saying we'll have the kid at Easter, and you can have the kid at Thanksgiving, et cetera, et cetera. I imagine, though, there probably have been cases, I don't know if you've run into them, where people have tried to, use holidays that are not legally recognized in this case. Have you ever heard anything like that?
Yeah. Oh, we deal with all sorts of holidays, and there's no law, there's no statute on the books that says, hey, these are the custody holidays, and this is these are the only holidays that can be addressed in a custody order. Obviously, folks are of different faiths, different cultural backgrounds. Different holidays have different significances to different families, and just different things are important, right? Who's going to have the child for the first day of buck season in a family of hunters? So we deal with all those things, and we can be as specific or as general in these custody orders as fits the situation, and we can deal with, are we dealing with the child's birthday? Are we dealing with the parents' birthdays? Sometimes the children and the parents want to set up a custody schedule so that the parents have the children on their own birthdays. Just all kinds of scenarios, and every case is different. And then, of course, you've got cases where parties live hundreds of miles away from each other, or maybe they live right around the corner. That plays into it as well.
We're just about out of time, Marshall, but if anybody has any questions about this or any other custody-related issue, they should contact you, right?
Sure, yeah. As we get through the holiday season, one of the things that you want to do if you've got a custody arrangement and you get through the holiday season and then you're reflecting, right? You're saying, wow, how did that work, and how do we need to make any changes? And maybe that's the time to think also about modifications of the custody order so that you don't run into some of the same problems you might have dealt with this year, next year. So if you, that being said, then you want to contact the lawyer. If you want to contact me, my number is 724-465-5826. You can visit me in the R&P Cole Building, 655 Church Street in Indiana, Pennsylvania, or go online to www.westernpalawyer.com.
Marshall, thank you very much once again for joining us here on Indiana in the Morning. All the best to you and everybody over there at the firm, and I hope you have a wonderful new year, all right?
Thank you very much, Josh. You as well.
Thanks again. Marshall Chriswell joining us here on Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank here on the Voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160, and our interview segments here on Indiana in the Morning, presented by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people.